Celtic have done it. They're the first team into the Scottish Cup 5th round, thanks to a little bit of Mooy magic. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. Just got done watching Celtic versus Morton in the first 4th round tie of the weekend in the Scottish Cup. And you know what? I will say fair play to Morton for the first, 10, 15 minutes. They actually looked pretty good, and they were causing some problems. They were getting forward, they were creating chances. Nothing really clear-cut, but they were making a game of it, and it's not how I expected the first 10, 15 minutes to go. But unfortunately for Morton, their spell in the game, their fight, their, will to get forward, it didn't really last much longer than that. And as soon as Celtic got the opening goal, Morton literally just went into their shell and basically sat back and took an absolute beating from the champions. So, well, I say the Scottish champions, not the Cup champions, because we all know that's Rangers, but still, the Premier League champions, the current league leaders, they just, once they scored today, they took over. Morton had no answers, and it was that man, Mooy, who got the opening goal, a penalty, which I didn't think it was a penalty at all. We went to VAR. We took about 3 minutes to get to the conclusion that it was a penalty. For me, it wasn't. So I think Celtic now, they've been fortunate in the last couple of VAR decisions, and it's a bit of a coincidence because Callum McGregor came out 2 weeks ago and says that Celtic need to start getting decisions in their favour if it's going to even out by the end of the season. And since he said that, they've been given a decision against Kilmarnock in the Scottish League Cup, and now they've been given a decision today. This decision, though, not as important in my opinion as the Kelly one, because Celtic would have won this game anyway. It was only a matter of time. But the Kelly game, that could have potentially took things to extra time, and who knows what would have happened in that. But they get the penalty, Mooy scores it. Then Furuhashi, a couple minutes later, lovely dink over the goalkeeper, great finish for Furuhashi, makes it 2, and the game was pretty much dead at this point. I'm shocked to this day that people actually think Giamakis is better than Furuhashi. I don't see that at all. All-round play, Furuhashi is a much better player, and I would actually suggest that Furuhashi is a better finisher. I don't understand why Giamakis is labelled as this great finisher. People thinks that his accuracy is on point and stuff, and I know he was the top goal scorer in the Eredivisie, but I actually don't think Giamakis is that clinical. He's missed chances as well, and domestically and Europe. And I get it, maybe Furuhashi, doesn't. Maybe Furuhashi ain't that clinical either, but I think Furuhashi is more likely to create a lot more chances, and he's a lot more likely to get on the end of balls and just create opportunities for himself more than Giamakis would, due to his movement and his ability to read the game. So I don't think there's that much between Giamakis and Furuhashi with their finishing, and I just think Keogh is a lot more likely to get in opportunities where he can finish. So yeah, for me, I just don't see how people would prefer Giamakis to be the number one striker at Celtic. That baffles me. Anyway, we got a couple of minutes before half time, and it was David Turnbull with a third goal. Nice, but Kyogo again done well, back to the goal, drew a couple of players towards him, then he passed it to Turnbull, who had space, and a lot of space actually, and a lot of time, and he just placed it into the bottom corner. If the game wasn't dead, Celtic certainly killed it before half time, because then they got another quick one with Furuhashi just on the brink of the half time whistle. So it was 2-0, and then a couple of minutes later they double it, 4-0, all over, game done. Second half, Celtic took their foot off the gas. I'm convinced they could have made this similar to the Dundee United scoreline, the 9-0 earlier in the season. I think Celtic could have done something similar to that today, but they didn't really go for it. They made some substitutions. Kyogo, who was on a hat trick, got taken off. I don't think he seemed too happy about that, but come on, the game is 4-0. I'm sure Celtic have bigger games to worry about this season, and I get it. Kyogo probably wanted to stay on, probably wanted to try and get a hat-trick, but sometimes you've just got to look at the bigger picture, and I think the bigger picture here was for, just to take your star striker off. So I think it made sense for Mange, but Kyogo not too happy. I'm sure he'll get over it. Come on, he's still top goal scorer, still going to win more titles come the end of the season. I'm sure he can sleep tonight well. And then Mooy. Again, Mooy with his second goal of the game, the 5th goal in total, makes it 5-0. And let's talk a little bit about Aaron Mooy, because when he was first signed for Celtic, it didn't seem like an Ange signing. I think we looked at Mooy and we thought, something looks a little bit weird about this one, because you look at the rest of his signings, and Mooy just didn't really fit in. Mooy was more of like a McCarthy signing, where he's like, just signing a guy that has been around for a long time. A lot of Ange's signings are unknown quantities, guys that are like either young or they're beginning just to get towards their prime years, whereas with Mooy and maybe more so McCarthy, you felt like they were signing players that had just been around and were on the decline perhaps, and would seem what they had to offer. So yeah, I thought the Mooy signing was a bit weird, and I think me, like most people, thought that, this ain't going to be that good of a signing. But Jesus Christ, Aaron Mooy in the last 3-4 months, arguably been the best player at Celtic. Arguably the best player in the league, to be honest. I don't know what's happened to Aaron Mooy, but he is all of a sudden just turned up, and he is beginning to play some of the best football of his career, whether it be in Scotland or England or wherever he was before. So yeah, Aaron Mooy definitely playing well at the moment, and for me, he has to be a starter in this Celtic team. You have to put him in over O'Reilly, surely. I mean, Mooy is playing great at the moment, so yeah, big up Aaron Mooy. Fair dues to Aaron Mooy. Got to give Aaron Mooy credit, and it's a 5-0 win for Celtic, guys. So they are into the next round. We will find out who will make it today and tomorrow. Lots more Scottish Cup games taking place. There's lots of 3 PM kickoffs, and then of course we've got the big game tonight, St Johnstone versus Rangers. Should be a good one. I do expect Rangers to win it, but I mean, you never know. St Johnstone over the years have proven to be a pretty good cup team. Obviously, they won 2 cups in the same season, so they can't be that bad in the cup. So, who knows? I expect it to be closer than this game here, so we'll see. And then, of course, tomorrow, the big one, the Edinburgh Derby, Hibs versus Hearts, possibly Lee Johnson's job on the line. So, yeah, lots of good football coming up for the next couple of days. Anyway, guys, that's it. Celtic 5-0 winners. Pretty easy in the end. I'll catch you guys in the next video, but until then, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Peace.